Gotcha. Yep. Gotcha. About
Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
We are cooperating. We are.
Now on News 6, he told us he was pepper sprayed by police even though he was following their orders. Tonight, police are pressing charges. The reason and what it says about your rights, all new in minutes.
Tracking showers and storms, parts of the coast getting hammered right now. More rain is on the way for almost everybody. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas pinpoints what you need to know.
And could the Rainbow Pulse crosswalk come back with the state's blessing?
The whole thing on the crosswalks and the street art is just political nonsense, quite honestly. We know they're going after rainbow stuff, okay?
Why Orlando's mayor is cautiously optimistic despite the crosswalk controversy. And at least 5 cars stolen from a private parking lot near MCO. One victim tells us the lot's owners make it all too easy for thieves.
They told you to leave the keys on the dashboard?
Yes, everybody left their keys on the dashboard.
So News 6 investigator Mike DeForest checked it out for himself.
But we have to start tonight at 10 with your weather. While there are currently no warnings out there, you can see the radar is still lit up at this hour.
Yeah, that is for sure. Parts of the coast are in the thick of it. Here's a live look from our Daytona Beach cam there. Let's get right over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, who has his hands full dealing with all this rain lately. Jonathan.
And you know, we were just streaming on YouTube for the last couple of hours, and the comments are like, it looks like a tropical storm out there in Volusia County, and it kind of does. We have wind gusts pushing 30 to 40 miles an hour right along the coast. And look at the little spin. It's not tropical in nature, but a lot of times when we have these stalled fronts, you get an area of low pressure to develop, and you see that curl there. Now, what I'm concerned with here, and I am optimistic that we do get rid of this rain over the next hour or two, at least lightening up. It's falling in the places where we likely don't need it the least, or we need it the least because we've had all the heavy rain from Sunday night and then again early this morning from Ponce Inlet into New Smyrna Beach and into Port Orange. And that rain is coming down heavy to a tune of about 1/2 inch, give or take, per hour. Look at the wind gusts, though, along the coast. Palm Coast, we're now gusting to 37 miles an hour. Daytona Beach at 32, 29-mile-per-hour gust just reported in New Smyrna Beach. So, again, this is kind of a wild situation for a select few here from about Oak Hill to Edgewater and all the way up for us into Marineland. So, again, it looks pretty crazy out there if you're right along the coast. A few showers inland as well, but certainly the most concerning part going to be the flood threat right along the coast. We're going to talk much more about this, guys. Have a look at your forecast coming up at about 10:17.
Thank you, Jonathan. New at 10 tonight, a debate about where your rights end when police say they're keeping the peace.
We are cooperating. We are.
Remember this video of a guy getting pepper sprayed by an Orlando police officer while taking cell phone video of them making an arrest? Well, we talked to him a week ago. He insisted he did nothing wrong and was demanding answers. Well, tonight, he is locked up in the Orange County Jail. Went before a judge a week after that confrontation. Your Orlando community correspondent Troy Campbell looks into what police claim the man did wrong and asks a legal expert, where do your rights end when police are taking action?
Last week we told you how James Lake says that he was here near the corner of Orange and Central in downtown Orlando when he was pepper sprayed by Orlando police. Well, now we've uncovered that he's facing charges for not being 25 feet away from officers. That's the distance that we've measured out right here on the sidewalk.
Get out of the roadway!
What is your thoughts when you hear Orlando police using pepper spray on someone that they just think was too close to them while they were attempting to detain someone else for a separate case during bar close?
I want to see the body cam.
Attorney Mark Nijay says it's important to see the full Orlando police body camera footage from the morning of September 1st to see a true timeline of events.
I think a big part of law enforcement needs to be just because you can doesn't mean you should. You've got to evaluate the situation. But if there's a crowd forming and an officer really feels that and sees signs that they are in danger, then of course they've got to protect themselves.
James Lake says he recorded this video just after 3 a.m. on September 1st. In it, you see him get pepper sprayed by Orlando police.
Orlando police, get back! Get out of the roadway!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are cooperating. We are cooperating.
We spoke to him moments after he left the hospital last Monday. Obviously, it's still affecting you.
Yeah, it's been rough. You know, it's been a rough morning for me, my family, everybody that know me that was there, just to see it happen.
According to Lake's arrest warrant, officers asked him several times to back up while he recorded them detaining someone else.
The HALO law speaks to that. We now have a law that says stand back. You can still record somebody within 25 feet, so it doesn't take away the public's right to still be able to record. But stay out of law enforcement and first responders' way. They've got a job to do.
The arrest warrant includes still images from the officer's body camera, showing Lake holding his phone recording. Orlando police say after Lake was pepper sprayed, officers attempted to arrest him, but he took off running, got into a car, and left the area.
All right, your name, please?
James Clark Lake III.
Lake went before a judge on Tuesday, facing several charges, including fleeing and eluding officers.
I've seen phenomenal law enforcement take a situation and let everybody go in peace. And you see other situations where somebody starts beating on their chest, they overreact to a situation.
And we're still waiting to get a copy of the full body camera footage from that incident from Orlando police. And of course, we will keep you updated if we get that. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
He thought he was showing up for a job interview. Instead, detectives arrested him for practicing nursing without a license. They say he's been using a fake name and license to apply for nursing jobs all around Central Florida. Now, the Volusia Sheriff's Office says Joseph Kinney had his nursing license revoked in 2022 and recently has been using someone else's identity to apply for open positions. Deputies say he was even hired for 2 of those jobs. An investigation was opened after someone got suspicious and contacted the Sheriff's Office. Deputies arrested Kinney after setting up a fake job interview. Kinney appeared in front of a judge today. He was granted a $20,000 bond, but was still locked up at last check.
Well, tonight, Orlando's mayor says he is hopeful the rainbow crosswalk in front of the Pulse Memorial will come back at some point, despite weeks of battles between the state and protesters. Tomorrow marks 3 weeks since state road crews painted over the tribute to the 49 lives lost. They did it at night without warning. Now Mayor Buddy Dyer has sent a formal letter asking the state to allow the return of a design that was created with FDOT's approval originally. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti caught up with the mayor.
Whatever happens with the crosswalk, we are committed to doing the memorial to honor the 49.
News 6 caught up with Mayor Dyer Tuesday and asked him about this letter, which cites a section of a statute allowing FDOT to permit traffic control devices that don't conform to the uniform system if good cause can be established.
The whole thing on the crosswalks and the street art is just political nonsense, quite honestly. We know they're going after rainbow stuff, okay?
Dyer writes in the letter that the original design was not intended to be political speech and asserts that the crosswalk is part of an ongoing memorial to remember and pay homage to the victims. Governor Ron DeSantis made it clear earlier this month that he does not see it that way.
I'm certainly supportive of an actual fitting memorial for people that were murdered that day. One of the most horrific mass killings in American history. Yeah, I've approved a lot of money for that over the years, but that's not for some crosswalk.
Still, the mayor hopes his letter resonates with someone at FDOT.
Hopefully, they'll allow us to restore the crosswalk as part of the memorial.
In his letter, the mayor also contends that repainting the crosswalk would make it safer and more visible. Plus, it would serve as a visual reminder to the community's commitment to honoring those 49 lives. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Meanwhile, another community is taking action over that whole crosswalk controversy. This is what the intersection of Northeast 1st Street and Northeast 2nd Avenue in Delray Beach looked like yesterday. The city says they got a notice from FDOT ordering the city remove paint from the crosswalk. And this is what the crosswalk looks like now. The city says less than 12 hours after they got the notice, they needed to repaint the intersection. FDOT went and did it themselves just before dawn this morning. In a statement, Delray Beach said in part, quote, "This immediate action by FDOT did not allow the City Commission the opportunity to review the order as an elected government body and decide how to move forward. By acting outside of its process, FDOT disregarded the city's good faith efforts to follow established procedures." Well, many of you were hoping to tune in to see a dramatic night launch.
Yeah, well, just a few minutes ago, SpaceX did come within about 30 seconds from firing all engines.
Hold.
Ahead on News 6, the reason for the last-second scrub and when they may try again.
Also, if you want to take part in Florida's first bear hunt in a decade, listen up. We now know when you can apply and what it will cost.
Recently, several cars have been stolen from this off-site parking lot near Orlando International Airport. I've discovered the company leaves customers' vehicles unlocked with the keys on the dashboard in plain sight.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Tuesday night. We're covering Daytona Beach shores, Dr. Phillips, and all of Central Florida.
Now on News 6, a warning for anyone planning to take a trip soon. Several cars have been stolen from an off-site parking lot.
It happened to one woman who says the parking lot does not protect customers. Investigator Mike DeForest checked it out for himself firsthand. Next, what he saw just might surprise or anger you.
This reddish burgundy pickup truck belongs to Gracie Lightcap.
It makes me angry.
Recently, someone stole her truck from this privately owned parking lot near Orlando International Airport. It was gone.
Gone. There's nothing there.
Weeks later, authorities recovered the stolen truck more than 1,000 miles away in northeast Texas. A wrecker service sent Lightcap these photos showing the burgundy truck had been repainted white. The theft occurred at Orange MCO parking while Lightcap was on vacation. When she parked her truck here in July, an attendant gave her a piece of paper instructing her to leave keys on the dashboard. They told you to leave the keys on the dashboard?
Yes, everybody left their keys on the dashboard.
Lightcap and her husband flew to Las Vegas, where the couple renewed their wedding vows with an Elvis impersonator. When they returned home 5 days later, employees at Orange MCO parking told them their truck was missing. Orange County Sheriff's records reveal 5 vehicles were reported stolen from the property in July, including the Lightcaps. I wanted to see firsthand what it was like to leave a car at this off-site parking lot, so we decided to drop this one off. The prior day, I made an online reservation. The website promises your car is in safe hands, but it says nothing about what happens to your keys. When I arrived at the front gate and showed the attendant my reservation, I was handed the same piece of paper Lightcap received instructing me to leave keys on the dashboard. The attendant told me, quote, "A driver is going to park the car and lock the car and keep the keys safe." I pulled up to the valet drop-off location. Then, as instructed, I placed the key on the dashboard. While walking around the lot, I noticed many other customers' keys lying in plain sight, including one for this BMW, which was parked in the grass alongside a retention pond. I boarded the parking lot shuttle and headed to the airport. A few hours later, I returned to Orange MCO parking. As I wandered around the lot looking for my car, I saw key after key after key. There is no indication any of them had been moved to a secure location, despite what the attendant told me when I arrived. As expected, our keys were inside the car and it was unlocked. But here's the thing. All these other cars appear to be unlocked as well, with the keys sitting right on the dashboard, including this one here. There doesn't appear to be anything that would stop me from jumping in, say, this car, and then driving out of here. As I left in my car, the front gate attendant was staring at his phone. That guy didn't even check to see if we owned this car. He just let us drive on through.
At what point do we say, as consumers, enough is enough? This isn't okay ever.
The owner of this parking lot did not respond to my phone calls and emails seeking comment. It appears Orange MCO Parking is experiencing some financial troubles. The company recently filed for bankruptcy, and the landlord here is trying to evict the parking lot company, reportedly because it's failed to pay its rent. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Well, if you plan to take part in Florida's first bear hunt in a decade, we've learned permits open in just 3 days. We told you last month the hunt was approved unanimously by FWC. Each person with a permit would be allowed to kill 1 bear. The permit and a valid hunting license are required. Applications open Friday and run through September 22nd. It costs $5 each. The permits will be given out by random drawing. So if you're picked, it will cost another $100 if you live in Florida and $300 if you're from out of state. The bear hunt runs December 6th to the 28th. We posted the full rules and how to apply on clickorlando.com.
Well, we know space fans were hoping to see the skies over Cape Canaveral light up less than an hour ago, and SpaceX did come close to sending up a Falcon 9.
Then, with less than 30 seconds left in the countdown.
Hold. Launch board is running.
And as you just heard, we did have a hold call due to a weather violation in the area.
Yeah, the launch of an Indonesian communication satellite was scrubbed again tonight around 9:37. The reason was the same as last night's scrub. While they did not confirm the exact violation, they were talking about anvil clouds in the area within a few minutes earlier. The forecast at best called for a 30% chance of go. No word yet on when they may try this again. When it's in the 30s like that, it usually is not a go.
Yeah, you wonder why
they
even try. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis, we could see behind you why it was such a low percentage.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I could have told you that we would have had a problem tonight. There it is, right there. Again, of course, the Kennedy Space Center hanging out right here. It's these storms that were right off the coast. Again, the anvils of the thunderstorms blowing back in, and of course, if you send the rocket up there, it could induce its own lightning strike. You can download the free News 6 weather app to stay up to date to all of the thunderstorms out there. And it's pretty wild out there tonight along the Volusia and Flagler coastline. Of course, we have a few light showers in central Lake County as well. But we have an area of low pressure developing along the stalled front that we've been advertising. You see the swirl right there, and it's wrapping some heavy rain down back towards about Scottsmore through Edgewater into Ponce Inlet. Again, this is where we don't need the rain, but it is still coming down at a pretty good clip tonight from Ponce Inlet, Port Orange, where we had all the flooding on Sunday night, Daytona Beach, and back to Ormond Beach. I'm cautiously optimistic that over the next hour to 2 hours, as we approach the midnight hour, this area of low pressure is going to start to spin back out to sea over that front and start to leave us alone a little bit. We'll still run the risk of a couple of downpours on shore, but the steady stuff, persistent stuff, and what's helping the Skycam jostle around every now and then is going to get out of here. It's a live look in Daytona Beach with the bouncy Skycam. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Look at the breeze out of the northeast at about 22 miles an hour. That's sustained. We have gusts pushing 40 miles an hour in spots. Right now in Daytona, the gusts back down to 32 miles an hour. Same for us just up the road in Palm Coast. New Smyrna Beach, our wind gusts are about 30 miles an hour. Still breezy from Sanford to DeLand, but not as gusty inland. It's because we have that area of low pressure. You can see the swirliness, if you will, out there, that counterclockwise motion and the wind barbs that are on the screen. I think Future Radar is handling this situation very well. Here we go at 10 to 11 o'clock, and it has the heavy rain pretty much right on the money. And you see there over the next hour or two, here's midnight. Still some light rain around, but finally getting the heaviest stuff off of our coast. That's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we still have a couple of those downpours sliding back through. I'm also optimistic that the rain is not as widespread tomorrow because we had that area of low pressure to develop. It's going to try to push some, relatively speaking, drier air back in. We will still have scattered thunderstorms in the mix. That rain will still be heavy, but I certainly don't think it's going to be as widespread as what we saw this evening and into the evening hours. At 7 o'clock on your Wednesday, you see the scattered downpours. Some of those going to be heavy at times again as we get into tomorrow. Speaking of which, rain chances at 60% tomorrow. Groveland, good evening. We are back to 87 degrees, 86 as well in Leesburg as we keep things unsettled still through at least Thursday. I think Friday we start to turn the tide a little bit as drier air gets ready to punch in for the weekend. Keep on advertising this too. It's kind of taking a back seat to the unsettled stretch, but Sunday, this weekend, late Saturday into Sunday, I think we're going to get a nice push of drier air, and it's going to feel a lot better if you're hanging out Saturday night into Sunday morning. It should be one of the nicer weekends, at least more comfortable weekends weather-wise we have felt in months. 40% shot for storms on Friday, 30% chance on Saturday. There's the low temperature on Sunday, right around 70. I think a lot of us guys could wake up in the 60s.
I am like right now climbing into your family background. You're going to wonder why you didn't do the right thing.
Debt collection calls can be downright terrifying. Next at 10, I'll show you the rules on the books to protect you. We're going to have you arrested. We're going to kill you. We're going to burn your house down. Those are some of the things debt collectors have actually said to Floridians, and these calls are happening now more than ever.
This is an attempt to collect a debt.
They can be condescending.
April, it's called a telephone. What you do to answer it is you pick up the phone and you hold it near your face and you speak into it.
Even threatening.
I am like right now climbing into your family background. You're going to wonder why you didn't do the right thing.
The bottom line, debt calls are stressful.
It weighs on your mind day and night. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you start to get all stressed.
Jamie Schaub, a server at the Swan and Dolphin, ended up with $19,000 in debt after having to buy a new air conditioner using credit cards. Then the calls started.
You know, people calling you, but almost harassing you for payments due, and you just don't have the money, and you're like, you can't make it out of thin air.
If you think you're being harassed, then you probably are.
Billy Howard, founder of the consumer protection firm, says harassing calls are illegal in Florida thanks to the Consumer Collections Practices Act. Basically, the law says debt collectors are supposed to be nice to you. If they're not being nice to you, they're breaking the law.
I think that's a good way to look at it. If they're not nice to you, then there's an argument that they're harassing you. And if they harass you, then chances are they've harassed other people.
And that's where Billy comes in. Over the years, he's helped his clients collect $67 million from robocallers and bad debt collectors.
There's nothing I like better than bashing bad debt collectors.
But not all debt collectors are bad. The majority are trying to collect a legitimate debt. And the number of calls have spiked 150% since last year, with the Federal Trade Commission receiving almost 280,000 complaints so far this year.
When I see these types of increases, it points to financial distress at the consumer level.
Emmanuel Rivero is Vice President of Operations at Money Management International, a nonprofit that helps people pay down debt.
The average consumer is struggling. We're having to put groceries on a credit card. We're having to put gas a lot of times on a credit card.
MMI has seen a large increase in the number of Floridians like Schaub reaching out to them for help.
You just feel like you're sinking and you can't get on top of it.
MMI worked with creditors to reduce her interest rates and find a single monthly payment that fit her budget.
It's a weight lifted off your shoulders, you know, at the end of it. It really is.
While Schaub might see a light at the end of this tunnel, debt is still a growing problem nationwide. In fact, the average person in America has $61,000 in debt right now. That's $1,000 more than last year. I'm Matt Austin, News 6.
Thanks for joining us. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It's free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. Have a great night.